Turn on that radio and back here. The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, not tonight. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and listen to the music.
This episode of Auto Dealer Live is brought to you by TrueCar.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dave Villa, and this is Auto Dealer Live. It's May 4th, Thursday. I'm here. Cribs is back in studio. You looking tan, man?
Oh, nice little vacation.
Nice little vacation. You know what, man? Your ears, Cribs. Your ears look a little bit, like the tan. Your ears, specifically your ears. Not your microphone doesn't look tan. Your desk doesn't look tan.
No,
your watermelon
it's
Perrier don't look tan.
specifically
but
his
your ears look tan.
That's weird.
You know what's amazing about ears?
They're usually used to hear things.
Yes, you would think.
You would have.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Tommy.
So you're back.
I'm Tommy. Yeah, he's back. I'm Tommy Elwell, and Dave Zakers is back. We had you here in spirit and on the phone, so I forgot you weren't here last week, but you were not.
He was kind of on the phone.
He was on the phone for 4 seconds. That's right.
No, I was actually there the entire time.
What do you mean?
Except for the very, very end.
We're opening up a.
You
ripped off the Band-Aid.
It's interesting. Our heart goes out to Lou, who's in the hospital right now with got a spleen.
He's got a.
Spleen got messed up a little bit from the double dragon we did last weekend.
Oh, he did have a spleen issue. Where is the spleen?
So the amazing thing about ears is they recover. You know what I mean? So your ears do look tan,
Jesus.
but they recover. What do you think?
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That was all just a little bit of code between me and Lou. But we're all good now. So what's up, Dave Cribs?
Oh, man. No. Hey, good to be back. Nice.
I'm sorry, I wish I could hear what you were saying, but
Yeah, right,
I can't.
right.
I can hear myself, but I can't hear you.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Dave, good to be back.
Right.
Had a great time.
Right.
And I hope you enjoy the show today.
Well, it's funny. It's interesting. We had the same equipment we had like 2 months ago, and 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and it's like with the same like wires going to the same holes.
Same operator
plugs.
too, though. Just in
Yeah,
fairness to Lou.
it's amazing. It's like it's like you ever get McDonald's cheeseburger. I don't eat a lot of McDonald's, but you ever eat McDonald's cheeseburger? You eat a cheeseburger, it's good. You eat it and it's like it's freaking good. You eat it and it's like, oh, that's McDonald's. You know what? I'm gonna make sure and see if you actually can tell me what that is. I'm gonna blindfold you, David. Oh, that's McDonald's. And then you eat one, tastes like butt. You know what I'm talking about? Like it doesn't taste consistent. It's like it's amazing. It's McDonald's, but every once in a while it doesn't taste good.
I can't say that I would recognize that taste, but go ahead.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Out of the box show today.
Out of the box.
Come on, somebody.
Out of the box. This is a cool show because I love it when people do things that are out of the box, right? Maybe rewrite the rules, especially when it's something that is successful with a client in mind and obtaining a client. I love the out of the box shows, so I'm looking forward to today.
It is. And it's interesting because we've got
it's like this watermelon Perrier. It's out of the box.
Come on,
right?
man.
Come on now.
Hey, if you haven't tried this yet, listen. I believe that if you haven't tried this yet, this is amazing.
So effervescent.
Thank you for Perrier sending this to us.
Yes.
And Perrier sent this to us, and I'm just really happy. And you know what? We're drinking this, and we're drinking it proudly. And we're gonna have this for. I think we literally they sent us enough to do like 3 months worth of shows. So really, really cool. Make sure you let Perrier know, man, and try this. It's really good. Watermelon Perrier. It's refreshing, isn't it?
It's like if you took a watermelon Jolly Rancher, right? Mm-hmm. And you like had it in your mouth, and you're like, oh, this is so delicious. And you're, oh no, in my water. And you're like, oh. And then you did that, and you're like, see if I can fish it out. I think I'm onto something. I let the Jolly Rancher dissolve in my Perrier, and look what happened. That's actually, if you go the making of the Perrier watermelon flavor, that's how it went down. Mm-hmm. One of their scientists was in the lab, and he dropped his Jolly Rancher in the
That's pretty interesting.
Perrier. True story.
Well, hey,
It's on
we're famous for opening the show with shenanigans, but listen, we want to give you guys the opportunity to we talked about ears and we talked about mics and things like that, but we want to give you the voice today. This show's about you. It's where the dealers go, right? The show where dealers go. Cribs, we prided ourselves for the 2 years that you were on this show prior to leaving for a period of time, and to be in the show where dealers go. Tommy, and I tell you what, man, I always get excited when we hear feedback throughout the week from dealers. Had a general manager just yesterday reach out to us via Facebook, I think, through our social media. They brought it to me and said, he was a general manager of a Toyota store. Love the show, man, and just love what you guys are doing. I mean, you can't hear that enough. We hear it every day, and today's going to be no different. I mean, today we're talking to sales professionals and management staff at dealerships who are doing some out-of-the-box things when it comes to sales. We had what was the guy's name last night? How do you say his name?
Who?
Last night, the rapper.
Oh, that is Damari.
Damari, that's right. I didn't want to say. I almost said Damari, but Damari, and he was on last week. For the show, and his manager at Antioch Nissan's going to be on, and it's actually his brainchild. Obviously, Damari's talent, but Greg is going to be on the show today, and we're going to talk to him and what really made him when he heard him rap. We have Kendrick that works here that does that, freestyles phenomenally. Amazing. And when you hear that, what is it that makes you, think to do something out of the box? Bill Have's back on today. And I don't want to get too much into the content of actually what we're going to be talking about, but Bill Have, he videos. And, and of course he gets permission. I mean, it's not creep style or anything like that. He videos his test drives. And it's like, it's documented. Like, what's the comedian, the British guy that did the one of the award shows? Huh?
The guy that rides.
But he hosts the award show. What's the guy's name that hosted the award show a couple months ago? He's a British guy, rides in the front seat with people. He drives and he interviews famous people.
Yeah.
The one that does the karaoke thing?
Yeah.
James something?
Yeah.
Rick James.
Rick James?
Rick James.
Rick James is a singer, a soul singer. Anyway, that guy.
I'm Rick James.
Bill Have, that's what Bill's doing. Bill took a page out of that book and said, I'm going to document. And I want to find out what got him to do that, because it's not just like ganking an idea, right? How easy is it to duplicate? How easy is it to not be authentic, right? And listen, there's some great ideas that you should duplicate, right? James Corden. Thank you, Lou. And you've redeemed. Lou got a Lou point. Let's give it. Come on.
Use the microphone for our ears.
You're not in the
Good
deficit
job, buddy.
anymore. You just got a Lou point back. You got a Lou point.
You just climbed up to notch number 1.
He's just like reaching out of the freaking dirt. He's like,
You got a Lou point for today.
James Corden.
Now to get back to par, you only need 640 more of those. Mm-hmm. Keep going,
Get
buddy.
cracking, buddy.
Keep going, buddy.
So I'm going to talk to Bill. It's Dave. Yeah. It's not about the idea. It's not about duplicating something. It's about duplicating why they did it.
Right, exactly. And, hats off to the dealers, by the way. Hats off to Greg for, not only recognizing the talent with Damari, but, making it possible for some of these ideas to get out there, because let's face it, when you do something that's a little bit out of the box and you do something a little different, there's a little bit of risk involved. Yeah. But thank goodness for the open mind. And, it's the people who get out there and kind of lead the way in the forefront of the out-of-the-box thinking that really capitalize on it. Because if you're the first one to the party, you're gonna get.
If you're the first one to the party, you get the appetizers before anybody touches them.
Up?
Yep. All the sausages.
What you guys say?
Oh, I'm just saying. Right now, we're blowing up on Facebook, blowing up on YouTube. We're going off today. It's
Come
gonna be a
on.
good show.
Well, why don't we get some comments going? We'd love to have your comments. So give some comments. We can get them up on the prompter in front of us. We want to read them. So let's start the dialogue this way. We're going to go to commercial in just about maybe 60 seconds. We're going to go. So how about this? If you've got a call and you've got a question, you got a comment, you've got, maybe an out-of-a-box experience that somebody that works with you does, maybe something you did that was maybe even by accident, maybe something that you were testing out, whatever the case.
Like how the Perriers were made.
How the Perriers were made, exactly. Accident. And then let's say either way, however that came about, now it's working for you and you want to share that with us. You can call in 813-574-1820, but at very least, let's start the dialogue. What's the most out of the box practice and strategy that you've ever done or seen done on the blacktop? And if it's you, or if you know why did you do it?
Yeah,
what motivated you?
And Dave, maybe we're talking to someone out there who has an idea, but it's being shot down by maybe someone up above. So let us take a crack at it. We'll judge and we'll share with you if we think it's a good idea.
And if you want to, if that's the case, and you want to come on and you don't want to divulge your name, you don't have to divulge your name or where you work. so you don't get fired, because that would be kind of out of the box, wouldn't it? Be like, I got fired on Auto Deal Live 2 months ago. That was out of the box.
Yeah. Hey, Lou and Ezra, can you guys do that dark silhouette and like, have a computer voice or something like that? When people come on.
I was watching Auto Deal Live at my dealership.
Where they have this, I know what you're talking about, where it's like an interview with a killer.
Do you know what he's talking about? Do you know what he's talking about?
Interview with a serial killer.
Do you know what he's talking about? Because you're only 19. I didn't think you knew much about anything.
Do you think that I haven't lived through the entire 2000s? Like, you think I didn't live through any of that crap?
Well, you were only
Think they don't have ID channel?
like 5 in 2000.
I was 5 in 2000.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. 7.
Bum, bum,
3.
bum, 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 bum,
I was
bum,
3 in
bum, bum,
2000.
bum, 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 bum. What is that? What's the theme song? Is that? Yeah, right.
Hey, I got an idea. We got to go to commercial break, because we've got the
okay?
out-of-the-box panel coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss any one of these out-of-the-box individuals. And Kilan is wearing his Serial Sales Pro jacket. He's beast mode. And I can't wait to show you what it looks like on Skype, because you got to be right back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chip Perry. The pledge was and is an action plan designed to address head-on the concerns that many of you told me about right after I took this job. Thus far, our dealer pledge has been aimed at fixing the major pain points that you told us about related to our product, our customer service, and our consumer advertising. I'd like to reiterate that our dealer pledge is our ongoing commitment to you, our dealer customers, and we will continue to work hard to improve our service to you.
Attention dealership managers.
Do you have a sales team that's underperforming? How about a sales team that's doing amazing, but you still think there's room for improvement? If so, I have a solution for you. My name is Mark Jennison, and I'm a sales performance trainer. I've helped countless salesmen and dealerships take their skills to the next level through lead generation, setting quality appointments that actually show, holding more gross, and delivering exceptional customer experience. So if you want more, if your team wants more, if you're looking to skill up, go to markjennison.com/dealership, and let's roll.
All right, out-of-the-box panel consists of the sales manager, Antioch Nissan, Greg Gross, general manager, Street Volkswagen, Amarillo, Texas, also managing partner there, John Luciano, digital advertising consultant at Cox Automotive, Flo Lopez. We have car sales professional. I love it. Car sales professional at Gay Family Kia, Kilan Anderson, trusted vehicle advisor. There's another cool title right there, huh? Come on. He's not just your vehicle advisor. He's a trusted vehicle advisor. You could trust me. I got what you have.
I wonder if they have one.
Bill have at Phillipsburg Easton Honda. What do you say?
I wonder if they have one standing right next to him. That's the regular vehicle advisor. And
You
then
know what?
have
Why
the
don't you?
Trusted.
So you
vehicle
got the
advisor.
line thieving, through their teeth person over here on the left. And hi, how are you? I am. They'll have your trusted vehicle advisor. Which one do you want to do business with?
That's right.
So Dave, I don't know. Why don't you ask him, man?
Well, let's go. Hey, we'll go right to Bill Have. And Bill, that is a cool title, Trusted Vehicle Advisor. We're giving you a little bit of flack, obviously, because that's what we do. But let's talk about this out of the box. I know that you have something special that you do, and maybe share with our audience what that is, what it looks like, how did you pull it off, and what kind of result is it giving you?
Absolutely. First, I want to say thank you guys for having me on again. I had a blast the last time. But this episode is going to be much better because I love the topic. So I wrote down a list of things that I do that I consider outside the box that I would say 90% of salesmen don't do. The first thing that I did is I've given away 2 vehicles in the past. For those of you that don't follow me on Facebook, I've been in the business for about 2 years now, and I've given away 2 vehicles in those 2 years. Basically what I did was I bought a wholesale vehicle, a nice trade-in that was very well taken care of. And I bought it, for $1,500 each time, both vehicles. And I did a contest where I had people message me their stories and just tell me, whether it was for them or for a family member or anybody. And I gave away 2 vehicles to 2 families in need. So that has brought me a ton of business. Got my name out there, So that was one thing that was outside the box. Where I work at is it's on the border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So I go through a toll on the way home every night. So I've gotten to know the toll booth employees, and I pay for the person behind me every single night, and they have a stack of my cards. Every toll booth employee has them. So I've sold a couple of vehicles from that too as well, by just paying $1 for that toll. I also do the relevance marketing, so that's key too. Whatever's relevant at the time, whatever everybody's talking about, like Pokemon Go as an example, when that was huge. I decided I'm going to go on Amazon and buy a Pikachu costume. And it cost me $160, and I held a contest where you had to share the video to be entered. And I had over 6,000 views on a 30-second Pokemon Go video, and I gave it away. And I I haven't been able to keep track of if I sold a vehicle from that. I'm sure I have, but maybe indirectly. And then the big one is dashboard diaries.
Mm-hmm. But I want you to share that one for a second, because I want to ask you. Well, because I want to, because that's a bit. Well, all of them are big, and matter of fact, the one that you're getting ready to say, was what I thought we wanted to talk about more, and we will. But when you just mentioned the other three things, okay. Specifically the first two, I have to stop you there and ask a couple of questions, because as a person who trains salespeople, as a person who is a salesperson, trains salespeople, loves sales, and has hired, fired, grown, trained, mentored salespeople all over the place, that so fires me up. But I've got to ask this question, Bill. I mean, why? Because and so what would motivate Bill to buy a Pokemon outfit, but buy 2 cars, give them away, which is the money is not minor, but it's probably the minor. It's the idea, the thought process, pouring into people, and then as far as what's the second thing you said? What's the second thing you said you did, Bill? Because that was
the toll booth.
Toll booth. Yeah, dude. That just that's like I do stuff like that at Starbucks. Things like that just kind of stuff just fires me up. I love it. I know why I do it. Why do you do that? Why in the world, man? You must love people. I mean, you must just love people.
That's a great question. The reason that I do it is a simple answer. I want everybody to hear needing a car, or somebody needing a car, or they need a car, and I want right away them to think Bill have. And I pound the slogan, if you have to have it, Bill has it. So when they think of anybody who needs a car, even if it's them, if it's their grandma, right away, because I've given away 2 cars, or because I do all the videos, I blow people's Facebook up with good things and relevant to cars. So the second anybody needs a car, I'm the first person that they think of.
Right now, and people, I guarantee people are trying to figure out. If you're trying to figure out what last names are available, that like got, buy, last names that you can use, and you've missed the boat, because his last name is Have. He basically took, and made the best out of it, right? But the bottom line is, man, that's not because of a last name. That's because of a heart. To really do something extraordinary. Look, I'm going to tell you, you can sell anything with that kind of attitude, and you are going to go to the top of your class, period. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and most salespeople, even if they maybe had an idea like Bill have, are reluctant to act on it because they're not sure they're going to get the ROI or this or that. You can find a million reasons not to do it. But I love what Bill has done, because he believed in it from the very beginning. He's done it. He's had great results. Tell us a little bit about the final out-of-the-box thing, the dashboard diaries.
Okay, yeah. So that's pretty much my claim to fame. I actually started at a Hyundai dealership in the middle of nowhere. Their slogan is this is no lie. Their slogan is, if you're lost, you're here. So from the first car I ever sold, I knew if I'm going to sell 20, 25, 30 cars a month, I have to bring people to me, because the store wasn't going to. They didn't advertise much. They were in the middle of cornfields. They were off the wrong exit. It was just a bad spot. So that's how I did a video with the first customer I ever sold a car to. I started doing it from outside of the vehicle and having somebody else record me, but the customers wouldn't open up as much. I would ask them how their experience was, and they would just say good because they were shy or they were nervous. So I said to myself, what can I do to get people to open up and to really tell the camera how their experience was? Because I know my customer service is above and beyond. So if everybody is extremely happy and extremely thankful, I want to capture that on something that's better than a review on Dealer Rater or Facebook. So I said, I'm going to put the camera on the dashboard, and I'm going to call it Dashboard Diaries. So I give the customer a reminder, so just please remember to say that you put no money down and, you didn't have the best credit score, as much as you're comfortable with, but I remind them of their story. So I push record, and they say, they tell their story. And a lot of people can relate, where they need help, or they don't have much money down, or they need a great payment. And inside the car, it's just so real and so genuine. And I have over 400 videos now with customers in such a short time in the business. Everybody does a video. There is no excuse for any customer to leave without doing a video. The number one thing I get is I don't have time, and that's why I stopped asking customers. Now when I'm hooking up their Bluetooth in the car and I'm doing the delivery process, now I just whip out my phone when I'm done, I push record, and I set it on the windshield without telling them a word. And now 9 times out of 10, they already expect it, because the next thing I wanted to get into, and I don't know how much time I have here, but I take screenshots of the videos and I make posters on Vistaprint. So they're all at my desk. So when the customer is sitting down, they see, the 300 pictures with customers that I've turned into posters that are on my wall at my desk. So they already know that they're doing a video.
That's good. And so thank you so much. We're going to come back to you multiple times throughout the show. We're going to move on to someone else here and get it. But Kevin Burns said this, and I'm reading because he actually addressed it to me on Facebook. Says, David Villa, before I made the switch to being a marketing director, I always tried new things as a salesperson. He said, my 100% strangest strategy I tested with a few customers about basically recording the buying experience. First, a few customers let me take footage, create a commercial. I edited the videos together, created my own highlight reel that got sent to customers who were online leads. It took down the barriers. It was a conversation piece. People loved it, and some even wanted to add their story to it. Great out of the box. I love the idea of recording the buying process. Now, I want to ask John Luciano this as well. The last line he said, and again, I want to ask John as a dealer, as a general manager as well. Great idea. But then he goes on to say, my dealership leaders didn't like the idea at first until it started generating sales. Now, I think they would pretty much, a lot of dealers that I grew up talking to, John, if you said, if you started selling cars by delivering elephants to people's homes, they would eventually get behind it. But at first, they don't like change. Why do you think that the dealership leaders, John Luciano, may have not liked that idea at first?
Well, I think sometimes it's ego even, it wasn't their idea, so sometimes it's hard to sell. I think Bill absolutely just really nailed it when he talked about just, being different, stepping it out there, and it's the same type theory that we try and do here at Street Volkswagen, is we want one person, we want our name on your head, on your tongue, when something happens, when you have a problem or when you need a car, when you have a flat. We don't want you to have to Google to see where to go. We want you to think of, just as Bill has done, it's just, he's your car guy. Bill's the guy. If something arises that has to do with an automobile, you're going to call Bill. I just think he's done a great job. And, of course, once it starts selling cars, well, then everybody's going to jump in and buy in. And it was their idea then, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you guys are doing, Dave, you know what they're doing over at Street Volkswagen, obviously.
Yeah, they're doing a podcast there, and that takes place right in the dealership, right, John?
Yeah, here or wherever we are, it has to do with our community calendar that we do a lot of. And we just took, years ago, the ad budget and gave up on traditional. Just wasn't getting us anywhere, and took it back to the community and just kind of old school war games, I guess, boots on the ground, soldiers, and put ourselves out there so that, once again, when you're thinking about buying a car, hey, those guys kind of support everything. They do everything. They're really good. Let's give them, the first shot. That's all I ask for, right? As long as I get the first shot or a chance, if I don't sell you the car, then that's my fault.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's go to Greg Gross for a moment. Mr. Greg.
Hey.
It was loud? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
How are you, sir?
How's it going?
Man, all is well. So we wanted to talk to you about, now you got a sales guy there. His name's Damari. He was on the show last week, and he had a video.
Damari Miles, the rapping salesman.
The last time we saw his video, I think it had like somewhere around 18,000 views on that Nissan alone. I don't know what it's up to.
Absolutely.
So my understanding is that was your brainchild, correct?
Absolutely. See, I've known Miles before. I've known Miles before he, was in the car business, and he was just doing small jobs like security here and security there, and doing little small things. But the cool thing about Miles is the fact that Miles has so much ambition and drive, and I've seen that to him. And he also is a rapper. So I was like, hey, why don't we, take your skill and your personality, and how about we sell some cars? Selling cars, I mean, you can be whoever you want. You can be you can have whatever personality you want to have, but have fun doing it. So we implemented that, got him, trained, and getting him, pretty knowledgeable about what he's doing as far as the car business. And I said, hey, why don't we take it to the next level? He's like, what does that mean? Why don't we use your rapping, your skill, and why don't we put together like a commercial or a video showcasing one of our cars, but with your rapping skills? And, he's an unbelievable, musician. So when we did the first Rogue video, it just blew up like wildfire. Everybody went crazy, and we still have people come in today saying, oh, you guys are going through the video, you guys do the Nissan Rogue, is the rapping salesman, you guys are doing that? We have those people here all the time. So, I mean, that one video alone has brought, so many different customers. I believe we sold probably at least 20 to 30 more Rogues than we normally do just off of that one video. So then now we put together the ultimate video, and it's like, everybody is starting to know us from the social media. Like, hey, you guys are the ones doing the videos, right? Where's that rapping salesman at? Everybody wants to, buy a car for miles.
So then you got Johnny.
Then
you got Johnny the non-rapping Then you got Johnny the non-rapping salesman, who's all lethargic in the corner, drinking coffee, having a donut,
right?
Watching everybody come to Damare, the rapping guy.
Absolutely.
He's trying to be the yo-yo guy.
Well, the thing that you got to think about it is the fact that everybody stays on their phone. When you wake up in the morning, or when you sometime throughout the day, you're looking at your phone, you're looking at one of the social media outlets, you're looking at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. And the thing is, I came from a dealership that had its own TV show, Tobin Dodge, in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. So when I used to see the things that they had done over there, I was like, how can I implement that and take it to Antioch Nissan? You see what I'm saying? And Tobin Dodge was huge. They had their own King of Cars TV show, and I was like, if I can somehow find a way to implement what I've learned over there and bring that over here, we can change the game in the social media world.
Yeah, absolutely. And, thank you, Greg. And you know what is cool about that? It's that I get out of what you are saying, what you're doing with Damari, with Bill. John came in and weighed in as, with what they're doing with the podcast. And John, I see other dealerships, I know you do as well, across the nation that are beginning to do that, reaching out to people in their communities. And what I get out of that is this. And it's like people that are listening right now, like Tommy was joking around when Greg was talking just now. I don't know if anybody got the humor there, but he was talking about, like jokingly, like, hey, someone's going to, start doing yo-yo tricks. It's not about what you do. It's not that, hey, America's Got Talent comes to the dealership. What it is you're dealing with people. And I think that's what the thing we miss. You're dealing with human beings. And sometimes as salespeople, as car people, as managers, in our own bubble, we deal with each other so much. You deal with each other so much, you begin to think that every human being, likes the same thing you like, and the deal is they're humans. And so I think when we can reach out and really do something unique, everyone has to drive a vehicle. That's what turns me on so much about this. I'm going to take a caller real quick. We're going to go to Flo and Kilan in just a minute as well. I know Cribbs had a question for Kilan, but Glenn Lundy called in. And the reason I want to take Glenn's call, he's a friend of ours, but also the guy's moving 900 cars a month, period. I mean, when Glenn calls in and says, I want to share what kind of out-of-the-box stuff we're doing here, I'm listening, and I think dealers would want to hear it because the guy is moving the needle. So, Glenn, thank you for calling in, man. I know you're extremely busy, but tell our listeners some of the things that over at Dan Cummings Chevy that you guys are doing that's out of the box.
Hey, man, I'll be glad to. And thank you guys for taking my call. I appreciate it. And I love this episode today, by the way. Me and Mr. Have there, we've become friends on Facebook. I was talking to him the other day. He's a pretty cool sales guy. Yeah. But the reason one of the things I wanted to call in, I started, it was probably 9 months to 12 months ago, when Periscope, kind of before Facebook Live, Periscope was out, and I started doing Periscopes of my sales meetings on Saturday mornings. So I started Periscoping those, and then luckily for me, Facebook Live came out because it's much easier to use. Yep. And so we started Facebook Living our Saturday morning sales meetings, 8:30 Saturday mornings. Started about 6 months ago on the Facebook Live, and currently, right now, I live stream every single Saturday morning meeting, and right now I'm getting anywhere from 1,800 to 2,200 views pretty consistently every Saturday on the sales meetings. And the greatest part about it, I didn't realize, I kind of was just doing it as a thing. I wanted to be transparent. I wanted people to be able to kind of see behind the scenes of one of the largest dealerships in the United States, so it just kind of started with that. But what's come from it now is, for me personally, I know that I've got not just my, 40 sales guys looking at me. I know I've got thousands of people that are watching me. So my sales meetings, I go in with the intention of educating, knowing that there's eyes on me. So it makes me better, kind of knowing that I'm being watched.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you know what?
On the other side of that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was going to say the sheer fact of someone that has the guts in the car business. It's the car business is probably over the years. I mean, I don't know many other industries that have been in the past historically the least transparent. I mean, the whole workings of a car dealership. I remember when the old black books, before it was online and they carried it in the back pocket, it was like the holy grail of you couldn't, nobody had access to it, and customers, well, what is that book they take out? It's the least transparent. So the fact that you're doing that is customers have to think that's refreshing, and it brings a trust factor that I would imagine otherwise wouldn't be there or is readily there. So hats off to you on that, man. But what were you going to say?
Thank you. Yeah. So kind of started with that, made me a little bit better in that sense. And then what's happened is I have people from different fields and different industries that are constantly, sending messages like, hey, thanks for the message this morning. That was inspiring. That was motivating. We can use that in our business. Can we reach out to you? That kind of thing. So it's kind of been setting us up. As far as business professionals, we're starting to become an industry leader as far as people are turning to us and saying, hey, these guys know what the heck they're talking about. These guys know what the heck they're doing. And, of course, when somebody wants to buy a car, where do they want to go? They want to go to the industry leader. If they're talking to their banker and their banker says, yeah, I watched their sales meeting the other day. It actually helped us here in our company. You should go there. Or they're talking to their doctor or their dentist or whatever, because I have a ton of professionals that watch these videos. So they're spreading the word. We're letting people in the doors. I had one lady, she flew in from Louisiana. Right, I'm here in Paris, Kentucky. She flew in from Louisiana because somebody had shared the sales meeting. She saw the sales meeting, loved that we were transparent and putting our customers first. So she flew in, wanted to shake my hand, came in, shook my hand, and said, "Hey, I'm here from Louisiana, flying in because I only want to buy cars from you guys because of what I see on your Saturday morning sales meetings." So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Thank you so much, Glenn, for sharing that with us, man. That's incredible what you're doing over there, and that's awesome, brother. Thank you so much for calling in, man.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, guys. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
I think part of what you hear so far is that people just want to have fun in the process, where a process that's normally kind of stuffy or normally, nerve-wracking or people liken it to going to the dentist and stuff. If you can make it fun, if you can make it enjoyable, if you can make it more, different than what I'm accustomed to knowing. And I think everything's changing because of technology and so forth. But some of the stuff Bill was doing, a lot of that stuff was just thinking just differently, like with the toll road, with the toll and having a car. That's not technology. Didn't do that. That's just him thinking. And I'd be curious to find out if you want to. I don't know who we're going to next.
Kylan.
Kylan,
right? Kylan and Flo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kylan. What I was gonna say. We bring you on in the conversation is, are there. Where do guys like Bill? Where are they getting ideas like this? Are they just literally? I mean, do you have that much? Do you have extra time on your hands? You're like, hey, I got a couple hours here. I'm not seeing anybody because no one's coming in the door. I better try to gin up some business.
Over the toll booth.
I'm a 2-hour drive from Jersey to Philly. Maybe I should go. Maybe I should give somebody my card. But what do you mean? Where do you come up with your ideas? What do you do that's outside the box?
You directing that to Kylan?
Yeah,
Kylan.
Did I make that clear?
No.
Sorry.
Kylan, we're good. No, absolutely.
Come on,
bro. I think a lot of it does come with a little bit of downtime sometimes at the dealership. But I think a lot of it comes from some people, following people like Bill Have and Kenny Landrum and these type of sales guys that are out there already doing a lot of things that we want to do. I think they give us a lot of inspiration to come up with some of these outside the box ideas. And, like the dashboard diaries that Bill has, those are awesome. I also do those as well. And one thing that I really learned from just being in the automotive industry is people like to connect with one another. And one thing that I've really, taken a big toll on is doing video email. And, that's something that's really important to me and my clients. I just had a customer the other day. She wants to actually implement it. She's a school teacher, and she wants to implement sending messages to students who maybe have missed a day or two or aren't feeling well. And she was really excited about getting my email video. And then when she came in, that was one of the first things she wanted to talk about is how I did that and how I embedded the video and all of that. So those are just, I think a lot of the ideas come from, one, experimenting, and then also seeing what other guys and gals are doing in the industry that's just setting a good example for us.
Kylan, is it the fact that maybe, I mean, we're talking about video email, and obviously that's not, that's nothing that's revolutionary from a technology standpoint these days and so forth, and you weren't pretending it was. But my question is, I guess but then again, it's not being done near the majority of the time. So it is rare. And so my question would be, isn't that why it works? I mean, in other words, people go, wow, this guy, this girl, this person is going the extra mile. I mean, isn't that the message that gets across? Like, hey, it's not just the least they can do to make sure I don't miss my appointment or miss this or whatever. It's the most they can do. They're going above and beyond. Do you think that's why somebody feels, is it making them feel special? I mean, no matter what we're doing here, right? Isn't that what it's really about?
I think you're absolutely right. Video email, getting customers on video, people have been doing that for years. All these infomercials that we've been watching on TV for years always have customer video testimonials and all this. But for some reason, the car industry, we don't do it as much as I think we should. And I think a lot of it comes down to is, it's just doing it. And a lot of guys are scared to get on video. I get, it's hard sometimes getting on camera and being yourself. And I like you said, it's not some new tactic or something new. It's something that people just need to implement. And a lot of times I think, like we're talking about outside the box, I think there's already a lot of ideas that are already really good inside the box that we can use. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we look for outside the box different techniques as well to also supplement and implement with the kind of the techniques we're already learning that we see other folks doing.
That's good.
And Kylan, I'd like to kind of jump in on that too. I think you're absolutely right. This is Flo. As far as a lot of people are just simply shy and, putting a camera on the showroom floor, it doesn't mean that, Jimmy Kimball's going to come out of the corner. But I will have found this with John Luciano and I. Wherever you set up a microphone, a light, a camera, and a desk, I mean, it's not going to be as good looking as the Auto Dealer Live because you guys got a big budget, but John and I, we get some cans, we'd find a table, we'd get some chairs. There's just magic about when you put a mic and a camera together and people gravitate it. I mean, we live in a selfie world, and even if they're not going to get in front of it, they want to see what's going on. It's just amazing, like a bug light.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I want to ask Greg a question. Chris, I know you're dying to ask a question. But Greg, man, I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, what's next? The brainchild. You got those. You're obviously an idea guy. You're a creative guy. You're a sales guy. But then, you're a diamond finder, right? The whole diamond in the rough, or taking a piece of coal and turning it into diamond. I mean, where's the thinking come from in you? Like because I'm really trying. I think that's what people are sitting here right now. And sometimes people just write down and go, "Oh, I'm gonna try that. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Hey, I'm gonna learn how to rap. Hey, But I mean, really, it's more than that. Where does the ideas come from, Greg?
Well, it's not even really about the rapping because I have another idea that I haven't even said to anybody, so you guys get this bonus secret information. But I had another idea where, a couple of the sales guys, maybe three, in fact, 3 sales guys. And I was real big on, what was that TV show, Whose Line Is It, with Drew Carey?
Yeah,
Whose Line Is It? You guys remember that show?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I had an idea that I haven't put together yet. And the 3-headed Broadway singer or something like that? Mm-hmm. Like our version of the 3-headed Broadway singer. And it's just basically, whatever car we're doing, just everybody say something different, but it has to flow at the same time and make it sound good, but funny too at the same time, where people are watching like, oh my God, these guys are hilarious,
right.
Or I mean, just little small things like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rapper or singer or anything like that, but also just doing things that no one's done before. Like, I'm starting to play a little bit more with my iPhone, so I've been taking a lot of pictures, and what I've done is on a couple customers, I haven't perfected it yet, sent them an iMovie buying experience to their email. Mm-hmm. And I've only done it with like friends and family, but I haven't actually broadened out yet to the other customers because I haven't gotten really no feedback yet with it. But I mean, we're playing around with that too. So I mean,
imagine
you
if
buy
you
a car and all of a sudden in your email you have that little iMovie experience, which is great. I don't know if you guys have ever used it before.
Yeah,
but
what,
I mean,
what if you did that
out the box? Yeah.
What if you, Cribs? What if you did that? You weren't in the business, like you are now. So you were a standard customer, and you go there, and then your car salesman, right? Your dealership, whoever your person is, sends you, Dave, an email. Okay, with the buying experience on video, kind of, it's about you. Who do you love? You love you. Everybody loves themselves, right? And you love you. You got your little deal there. What are you going to do with it? You're going to share it on social media, and you're going to be like, oh, look at this. Check this out. And guess what? That's advertising. That's brilliant, isn't it?
It is brilliant. And,
exactly.
Every single idea that
I'm talking about from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And, there's a common thread here, by the way, and that's that every single idea that we've talked about today is step one in any sales process, which is getting the attention of a prospect, right? And Flo had a great point, just taking a camera and a light and a table and setting it down, it draws a crowd. I mean, people are curious, right? Naturally curious. And what he's really attempting to do there is get their attention so that then we can share what we have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think, man?
I think it's good stuff. I got to say, because Glenn was on the phone earlier and he's off now, but who would have ever thought 10 or 20 years ago or 15 years ago or maybe 3 years ago or in some cases right now for a lot of dealerships, who would have ever thought that a dealer would have a live broadcast of their sales meeting every week?
Yeah, and John, I'll go to you, or I'll go to you on this too. We do that here. We have a sales training platform, and so once a month, and we used to do it every week. Last year we stopped, but once a month we live stream our sales meeting here, and then sometimes when Periscope first came out, and we do Facebook Live once in a while with it. We actually will do that in our boiler room, in our sales room. We call it a boiler room, but in our sales room where we're actually selling dealers. You know how many deals we've sold off of dealers watching that? Watching our sales guys try to bang the phones to get a dealer on the phone, watch them pitch a dealer, and celebrate when they get them on the phone. We've had dealers that were watching go, that's awesome, great energy. Hey, someone call me. And literally have sold deals with dealers watching themselves, their colleagues, get sold. So there's something about that. We're not doing anything dishonest. There's nothing, it's above board. So I think they see the integrity there. But I think the passion, right? They're going, hey, I want to do business with people who care this much. Isn't there something there, John? If you're transparent, if you're honest, if you care about people, you're not knocking their heads off, right? You're treating them right, and you're doing what Glenn's doing. I mean, really, honestly, isn't that the whole premise behind what you guys are doing at Street with the podcast? I mean, you're really saying, hey, this is who we are behind the veil.
That's exactly true. I mean, we want you to come into our world, and when you're here, we're always shooting video, we're always shooting something or taking pictures, and we take a picture of every person that buys a car. We post it. It goes on our TVs around the store. People love it. We do video in the service drive. We send you, what work we're going to do in your car. We see how often that gets shared. Keelan's exactly right about returning those emails, with a video. They know it took you a few more minutes, and maybe that means something to them, that maybe you care a little bit more. I think at the beginning of the show, Dave, you made a great comment about, one about culture and one about people. I love the fact that guy is streaming his sales meetings. I think that is probably the biggest balls I've ever seen on earth to get yourself cleaned up and get those things, because, everybody's seen all the movies from Wall Street or all the different ones of what they think goes on in there, and that's not what it is. And I really applaud him for doing that, and I think it's really cool that he's got 1,800 views, getting it out there to show that there's nothing dishonest, as you just said. Right. It's just a straight-up deal of what it is, a couple of people trying to do business. Yeah. And if you take care of it, and your comment was about tearing heads off, those days are just kind of gone. Yeah. It's all about customer service now. We all make a good product. Before maybe somebody had a better brand or the car was a little better. I don't know that that's true anymore. Yeah. I think now it's about you, your culture, and your people, and what people think of you and how they look at you. That way makes all the difference as to whether they're going to buy that car, if they feel like you're going to stand behind it and be there when it's done.
That's good.
Yeah, great.
Great. Why don't you read some comments, Steve? You got plenty of them coming in.
Sean Hayes, this is from Facebook, right, Kim?
Yes.
Sean Hayes, very creative people with the moxie to take a leap. That's what we need more of. Not worried about failing. Amen.
Amen.
And he said moxie. So
moxie, pretty good word.
Kevin Burns, there are 3 things.
I like that. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, moxie's a good one. So there are 3 things that matter with being outside of the box. They have to be willing to expose themselves.
I'm willing to do that.
Cribbs just got to actually. He wasn't.
I think
he
was
on
referring
vacation
to,
last week.
I think he was referring to transparency.
That makes
possibly
way more sense.
Different gig.
They must be consistent once. They must be consistent. Once just won't do. So you have to expose yourself repeatedly.
I'm good with that one.
They got to consistently expose.
Go ahead. Let's go for number 3.
And then they have to be willing to utterly fail because you can't.
Maybe they are talking about you.
Because you can't learn how something works without understanding how it doesn't work. So when you expose
that whole
yourself
statement
enough,
can go like a different direction. But thank you, Kevin Burns. Clarify.
Brad Pascal. He challenged you to a yo-yo battle. Yo-Yo Ma. That's what that picture was of Brad, by the way. That was Yo-Yo Ma.
Joe Ingram, look at that.
Auto Deal Live is about creating top-of-mind awareness for yourself more so than the dealership. And I guess that could bring in a question, guys.
Ooh, that's a good one.
What about bringing your personal, your personal brand above the brand of the dealership or anything? Is there conflict with that? We'll take it back to Bill on that one. Did you get any pushback from the dealer?
No, so actually the dealership that I work with, or work for, they're fantastic. I mean, how many dealerships do you know that would let you hang posters up around your desk of happy customers, you know? And they're fantastic. They love everything that I do.
Well, I saw somebody on Facebook.
Billboard that I have.
I was going to say, somebody on Twitter was actually surprised you were able to buy the cars you were able to buy. They said that you were lucky to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm allowed to do that typically people who are listening to this, they say, oh, that's a great idea, but my owner or my GM won't let me do that. You know, so I'm so thankful. I wouldn't be the salesman I am if my general manager and my sales managers didn't give me the leeway that they do. I have a personal website that's billhalf.com, and I know most dealerships don't even like you to drive traffic to your own website. They want you to drive it towards their website.
Well, I got to say, Bill, I hate to cut you off, but I got to say this because, John, I know you don't think this way, but look, I'm an owner of a company, and John, I know you are, and I talked to many, many owners. John Marazzi and I had this conversation a lot as well, and Joe Ingram's a great guy, but unless he meant it differently, I'm going to respectfully disagree and agree. I think that you have to. I think what it comes down to is happens prior to that statement. I think it comes down to hiring good people, and I think it comes down to good people finding good places to work. Those two have to be in conjunction because, look, I mean, here's the thing. Bill has to buy cars, right? He has to have the vehicles. I mean, so the vehicles have to come from who? The new car. I mean, the new car oval or the new car logo is what draws people to the dealership, even if they buy a used car. A lot of times, right? Wouldn't you agree, John, that someone would rather buy from a new car franchise because, rather than a standalone, possibly because they feel more trusted. It's got, it's got the back end of an OEM, whatever. So it gives them a peace of mind, right? There's nothing against standalone used cars. So you got that. So Bill needs the dealership. The dealership needs to know that, right?
Symbiotic.
I mean, what's Bill going to do? Go out and make cars, establish a relationship with Toyota? Where's the negative there? And if you so the only thing I can think of is, and John, you can maybe clarify this from an owner standpoint. If Bill, goes somewhere else, it hurts me. Well, the deal is then be a place where he doesn't want to go somewhere else, and then hire somebody that's going to have the integrity, maybe where the partnership's understood in the beginning. I mean, John, that's harder than it sounds, but isn't that really the only way to do this?
It is harder than it sounds, just like you said. And you fight internally, well, how come Bill gets to get away with that? And you have to go back and sell that culture of Bill's not getting away with anything. And we're not letting. Bill is showing that fortitude and that gumption, and this is what it is. And look, the proof's in the pudding. He's selling cars. He's selling big numbers of cars. And not only is he selling cars, I would have to tell you that if you went and looked at Bill's numbers, I bet his customer satisfaction is off the charts. Well, as an OEM, I assure you, whatever brand they're with, it's all about that now. It is retention. You got happy customers come back. You can sit there and draw that circle without a question, and you're going to see that everything leads to why you want to do that. And finding those guys like Bill and building that culture is hard to do. But, boy, what a great example to have Bill to do that. And I'm sure that his owners are looking at it going, man, if we just had 5 Bills or 6 Bills, we wouldn't have to work at all. That would be the strength of this deal. So you're right. It is scary, and most owners, this is an ego business, Dave. You and I have been around it a long time, and sometimes it's hard to sell that. But I've always found that the one thing that always gets it done is the bottom line. When you walk in and say, hey, look, we wholesaled in the car, we didn't make any money on it, but look what he did here, and look how many sales it brought, and somebody gets in that sales meeting or gets on a board and starts writing it down on what it produced and what it did, common sense comes in. You still got to make money. You got to run a store, and you go, okay.
I'm going to tell you, John.
We're going to to learn how to accept it.
I'm gonna tell you what it takes. Because you're right. It is ego, the owners. But one thing about owners, they want to make money. They're in business to make money. But I think it comes down to, and I'm not dogging out because obviously I work with several hundred dealerships, and I work primarily.
I'm not dogging them at all.
No. I'm saying, but I work with several hundred dealers, and we work with GMs and GSMs primarily, not dealers because of who we have to deal with. So, but it does take a Greg Gross. It does take someone at that manager level, I think, because I think that the owner, I think, might go for an idea like that possibly, but there's a layer sometimes between that idea, and it can be peed on by a manager that may think this guy's going to take my job. This guy's going to make me, he's going to look so good, he's going to make me look bad, or maybe they've got a couple of sacred cows that they're friends with, and there's that goes on. I mean, Greg Gross, and there needs to be someone like you, I think, as well, that a dealer needs to have that could be an advocate for guys like Damari and Bill Have and Kilan. I mean, that's what it takes. Wouldn't you say, Dave? A Greg Gross?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd pose the question to Greg, especially coming from Tobin. What happens when we leverage not only the talent but the ideas, and we build someone up and support them within the dealership? And maybe I'm playing devil's advocate, but Greg, I'm familiar with the history of Tobin and the shows that they did. What happens when the Blue Genie?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when the Blue Genie wants to go down the street and take the brand somewhere else?
Well, I can't speak for him, but what I can tell you is that, Prim, he's a great guy. He's actually the Blue Genie. And, when he takes the mask off and he takes the paint off, I mean, he's a remarkable salesman. I mean, if he took the brand somewhere else, I mean, he pretty much have to start all over and just use his own brand, because at the end of the day, when you're a salesman, you have to market yourself and make your own brand. And if you already have a name out for yourself, no matter where you go, you're just going to have that certain following. Now, if his following was strong enough to go to another dealership and grab that pull, I mean, he's not really the same Blue Genie like he used to be back in the day when the show was there. But, I mean, at the same time, it's all about marketing yourself.
You could be the Red Genie this time, right?
The purple Genie. If I could get after that.
Guys, we have to start. We have to start getting a move on and wrapping things up. So we appreciate everybody's input. What I would ask you guys to do, just take a couple minutes, give us your final thoughts. Also, any strategies you want to share about what you do, and maybe some things that could be
how
implemented.
someone can reach out to you,
ways people can reach you.
Check out what you're doing.
Absolutely. So let's start with Flo. Flo Lopez, give us your final thoughts, my friend.
Hey guys, thanks again for having me on the show. And final thoughts, I just kind of want to add to what Greg Gross was saying, and I love what he says as far as marketing yourself. Here's the thing, and let's be honest, sometimes you have some management, even some dealer principals who sort of frown on maybe the limelight being on some superstars within the dealership. So just have great communication. Just educate them that, listen, this is going to bring people through the door, just like John Luciano said. So, not every culture has a culture like at some of the progressive dealerships we've been hearing, but I would just say open communication is the key to let everybody know that they're on the same page.
Amen. That's great. Now, if someone wants to get a hold of you, Flo, how can they do so?
They can reach out to me at flo.lopez@autotrader.com, and I'll be happy to help with any questions. And I'll be in New Hampshire at the New Hampshire New Car Dealers Association next Tuesday, presenting to them basically a lot of these ideas. And sorry, Greg, but I took some of your good ideas and now they're mine. So thank you for that. No, just kidding.
Actually, you know what? Real quick.
Just kidding, my friend.
No, you're not. Here's what I had a question for the guys who are actually on the floor, the sales guys too, and you can use it in your wrap up. But I wonder if you guys are okay with other people within your dealership kind of copycat in what you're doing or implementing what you do. Do you teach that? Is it used across the board? So actually,
Absolutely.
Who said that? Bill?
Bill Have.
Okay, Bill, why don't you give us your final thoughts on that then?
Imitation is the best form of flattery. So with every guy at my dealership, we have 22 sales guys. I try to get every single one of them to do a video with their customer, tag their customer in it. That's referral galore right there. So I believe imitation is the best form of flattery. And, now people all across the world are doing the dashboard diaries that I started. Steve Nash in Australia does it. Jim DeLuca teaches it in Canada. I have a couple people in California, Washington State, literally all over the whole entire world. People are doing dashboard diaries now, and I'm flattered. I love it.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Now, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, maybe an aspiring salesperson who doesn't have I know you're only 2 years on the job, but obviously you got things, locked down pretty well. How can they get a hold of you if they want to buy a car or if they want to pick your brain or whatever?
Yeah, so they can message me on Facebook. It's under Bill Have. You can check me out on YouTube. Actually, on my dealership's YouTube page, it's pehonda.com on YouTube. Or not .com. It's just PE Honda on YouTube. They actually let me upload all of my videos onto their page. So they're incredibly supportive. And they always told me, you own your own business. You just use us for the cars and for the dealership, for the desk. So that's how I promote it. That's why I do the BillHave.com. And I brought 38 customers in last month on my own. I sold 23. We couldn't get them all approved, but on my own, they pay $100,000 a month in advertising. So when I'm bringing people in, it didn't cost them $500 per customer to bring them in. That's all. They're my customers, not necessarily dealerships, and they love that.
It's awesome.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
No,
and
thank you.
If you ever would like to come again, I would love to.
Yep, absolutely,
Thanks,
man. We
Bill.
look forward to the next time. Who's left, Tommy?
We got Kylan. Go ahead, buddy. Give us your final thoughts, my friend.
Hey, guys. Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for sending me my my cool Serial Sales Pro jacket. I was wearing it earlier, but it got a little warm. It's a little hot here in Texas. So I had to go and take it off. But I want to thank you guys for sending the jacket. And final thoughts, just for anybody who's listening who might be a little scared to try some of these outside-the-box ideas you heard today. And the best thing I can give, advice I guess I could give is just, get out there and do it. Try it, practice, and, just have fun with it. Have fun with your customers, and you're going to sell more cars and have more fun. And that's just kind of my motto, is the more fun I have with my customers, the better I love my job and the more fun that I have. So I just want to thank you guys so much. It's been awesome being on the Auto Dealer Live, and thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Kylan. Thank you very much.
Very cool. Mr. John Luciano.
Hey, guys, I want to thank you first for letting us be on the show. You can reach us in little old Amarillo, Texas at streetvolkswagen.com, or just call us and contact us. I guess my final thoughts would be, what a great idea that you guys had to do this today. But I think that on the dealer side or on the GM side, your true success and how people really look at you is how successful the people underneath you are. And you need to start accepting that and encouraging them and building that culture, because that's really how people look at us as you go up that ladder. It's not what I do, it's what they do. They get all the credit. All of our success, Wolfsburg Crest, all the awards we've won in 3 years of being a Volkswagen store, it wasn't me, it was them. And having that open door, letting them feel comfortable that they can come to you with those ideas. Hey, a lot of them you're going to look at and not understand. I'm 58 years old, and I look back and think, wow, that's crazy. But then I have to think, you know what, that's crazy to me. That's probably not crazy to everybody else. Yeah. We live in a different time, and the Internet has changed it completely. And I think the stores, if you look at the really successful stores right now, all of them have a different culture. They're out in the public pretty heavily, and people know who they are. And you know what? We want to do business with those kind of people, and that's just who we're trying to be.
Thank you, John, very much, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to all of our guests for being on the show today. Greg Gross, John Luciano, Flo Lopez, Kilan Anderson, and Bill Have. You guys have been great. Thank you, Glenn Lundy, for calling in, and for everyone on social media, man. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful rest of this week.
Thank you for having me. You too.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So, guys,
Thank you.
Reading some of the comments here as we wrap this up. What a great show. Awesome. Joe Ingram, I love you, Joe. I know Joe's a great car guy. If you're going to embarrass the store, it's never good. Everything is about helping the brand, yours in the store. Glenn Lundy, we don't want our guys putting their own brand ahead of the dealership. It's a matter of intertwining the two. Love that. And Glenn, as you can see, is the kind of guy who is broadcasting transparency. So if you got a guy like that at the top, then everybody underneath, right, it should be intertwining the brand. Because here's the deal. People are still buying a vehicle, right? And so all roads have to lead to Dan Cummings Chevrolet, build a following, and then lead them here. Joe Ingram, Tommy, what's he say? Cribs?
Mark Farrow?
Yeah, Mark Farrow. I like what Mark's saying
Farrow.
there.
Mark Farrow says, I sell 15 to 20 units a month off of Facebook alone. My GM and GSM are on board with this style of relationship sales, and that is why it works. Yes, I could see that because
he's bringing an extra 15, 20 cars off Facebook.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
hey, keep doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I kind of like that Facebook thing.
That Mark kid.
Yeah.
I like him.
You know, it's crazy when it says when people say that though. Like, I'm generating 15 to 20. I'm not Mark, but I mean, like, Weiss might be surprised by that. It's like I'm generating 15 to 20 units off of People Factory every month. It's like it's Facebook.
Play-Doh People Factory.
It's like they're real
indeed.
people and they really drive. They don't live on Facebook, right? They really don't. They don't live on. I mean, they don't live in Facebook. Maybe you reach in here and we get you a little Facebook car. It's a real car, right? And that's what's crazy. So I love that about Mark. But why shouldn't we be all over it? I think a problem as owners, and I had this problem. You and I have talked about this. Our sales team. Look, I know we don't have near enough any time. We're done to get into social selling. But you and I talked about this. You and I talked about this. Look, social selling, which is phenomenally strong. It's when it's not in balance with everything else. I mean, it's just one of these things where you've got to be everywhere. Yeah. You've got to be everywhere.
Steve Stoney said, dealers afraid of salespeople with personality should encourage the entire dealership to employ real social selling. I think he was giving himself a plug there.
Come on, Steve Stoney.
I think I keep running back the video I made up in my head of the guy that works with Damare. That's in the corner. He's like,
yeah,
he's waiting for the ups while Damare is rapping in front of crowds at the dealership.
Here we'll get Tommy all thrust up here, right? Get him funny. So the guy sitting in the corner, right? And he's only got he's a real good yo-yo-er. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, phenomenal, Tommy. That was what he did in college at the bar, impress people. Yeah. So he's like, that guy can rap. He's getting all the car sales. So what am I going to do? What can I do?
I was thinking, I mean, even if you look at...
Show us what he's doing. How does he do it? Just show us
he's walking...
Go ahead.
I wish I forget. I don't have a...
Well, pretend it. Come on.
He's doing that thing. We do the rock the baby.
Right.
Rock the baby.
How about he gets a string? How about those little string things you used to do with your hand and stick your hand through it? How about he's really good at that. He's really good at that.
Or, hey, listen, you got to come down to our dealership. We have the best Chinese yo-yo guy. The Chinese what's the Chinese finger guy? The thing where you pull the finger.
Yeah.
This guy does it better than anyone I've ever seen.
Wow.
Come on down. What? Have you seen that guy?
No, but I was just thinking.
He does that thing.
We're gonna saw you in half. How about a magician?
I was just thinking that.
Come down. We're gonna saw you in half. If we saw you in half
and
and you bleed, you get your car for free.
That one guy from Digital Dealer that was the magician, that guy was on point. That guy could sell 100 cars a month. 100 car a month sales guy. Easy.
Yeah.
Hey, what about the
Write your name on
hypnosis
this
guy?
card.
There was a digital dealer a couple years ago that had people clucking like chickens on stage. I mean, why not just go into a dealership and hypnotize everybody? You're going to be driving away in a car, and after you write me a check.
Then he has to hypnotize them to have a 680 credit score, too. You have a 680 credit score.
You are no longer a bogue. When I count to 3, you are no longer a bogue.
That's not what Credit Karma said.
All right. We are done. We've extended. We have overrun our time.
I had to pee really bad.
Me too. I was just thinking that.
Well, we drank all this delicious Perrier.
Thank you to Perrier for making us have to pee.
For hydrating us. God bless.
Yes.
We'll see y'all next week.
Oh,
love you.
Hey.
Wait.
At Your Service.
Oh,
At Your Service is coming up next week. 2 weeks from now, man. You don't want to miss the show next week. But 2 weeks from now, we are doing a sequel. Right? Sequel? Yes. A sequel to last year's show, Beyond the Blacktop. And we're going to have a different guest on. We're going to reach out. It's going to be it's a show that's going to have some real touching stories that go beyond the blacktop about car people that you and I know and love. So stay tuned 2 weeks from now. You don't want to miss that show. And we got some great things coming up, man. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
How about you?
I got to pee.
Close your eyes. Hot water. It's flowing.
Hot water?
Like warm water.
I'm waiting to get to the bubble, but that
actually, interestingly, that actually worked. I was like, ooh, hot water.
All right. Hey, guys, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week.
Yeah,